You ever walk into a room and pretend like you've already made it? Like you've got money in the bank, a thriving business, and a lifestyle people envy. Even though your bank account says otherwise? That was me. I tried acting successful before I was. And what happened next? It changed everything. Not just the way people saw me, but the way I saw myself, the way I carried myself, the way I spoke to the world, and how it started speaking back. And no, this isn't one of those fake it till you make it cliches. This is real. This is raw. This is how stepping into a mindset before the money ever came flipped my entire life upside down. Let me take you back. 2 years ago, I was broke. And I don't mean the kind of broke where you cut back on brunch or skip the newest iPhone. I mean overdrafting on a $4 coffee broke, saying no to birthday dinners because I couldn't cover my part, dodging texts about bills I couldn't pay, living with 3 roommates in a shoebox apartment that smelled like old pizza, wet laundry, and low self-worth. But deep inside, I had this fire. I had big dreams, just like you probably do. I wanted to be successful. Not just financially free, but respected, known. I wanted to walk into a room and feel unshakable. I craved confidence, clarity, purpose. But what I had was self-doubt, fear, and a whole lot of scrolling through Instagram, watching strangers live the life I wanted while I sat in a hoodie, wondering if I'd ever get out of this cycle. Every day started the same. Wake up, hit snooze, scroll. I'd see the cars, the trips, the confidence. I'd see people winning, and I'd feel smaller. Until one night, everything changed. It was late. I was lying in bed, broke and stuck, when I stumbled across a clip on social media. Just 15 seconds. Some guy in a suit, staring straight into the camera, saying, "Start showing up like the person you want to become, and eventually, you'll meet them." I paused. Then I watched it again, and again. I couldn't explain it, but something clicked. It was like that one sentence knocked something loose in my brain. Like I suddenly realized I'd been waiting to feel worthy, waiting for my situation to change before I changed. But what if it was the other way around? The next morning, I woke up differently. I showered, shaved, put on the only blazer I owned. I didn't have any meetings. I didn't have anywhere special to go. But I walked out that door like I was about to close $1 million deal. Did I feel ridiculous? Absolutely. But at the same time, it felt right. Like I wasn't just dressing up, I was stepping up, stepping into the version of me I wanted to meet. I stood taller, walked with purpose, made eye contact. Even my voice sounded different, more sure, more steady. And the wildest part, people noticed. That same day, the barista at the coffee shop, who usually barely looked up, smiled and said, "Good morning, sir." Sir, that had never happened before. It wasn't about the blazer. It was about the energy I was giving off, like I was someone who mattered. From that point on, I leaned into it. I started creating routines that mirrored the version of me I wanted to be. I woke up earlier, drank water, meditated, wrote down goals, even when they felt too big to be real. At work, I stopped slouching. I spoke up in meetings, I volunteered for tasks I'd normally avoid, and slowly things shifted. Colleagues started listening. My manager actually asked for my opinion. I wasn't invisible anymore. I was becoming invaluable. Outside of work, I started showing up differently too. I went to networking events, even when I didn't feel like I belonged. But instead of shrinking, I stood tall. I introduced myself with confidence. I acted like I had every right to be in the room. And you know what? People believed it, because I was starting to believe it. I wasn't pretending anymore. I was practicing. Practicing the presence, the posture, the perspective of the person I was becoming. Then came the dinner. I got invited to a private dinner hosted by an entrepreneur I'd met once. I almost said no. I didn't feel ready, but I went. The room was full of people who had what I was only just beginning to believe I could one day have. Money, businesses, influence, and there I was, blazer on, heart pounding. But when the conversation started, I realized something shocking. I held my own. Not because I had the same bank account, but because I had spent months preparing my mind. I'd been studying, reading, listening, practicing. I wasn't an imposter. I was a peer in the making. Later that night, one of the guests, a well-known investor, pulled me aside and said, "You've got presence. I don't know what you do, but you should be doing more of it." That moment stuck with me like glue. Not because of the compliment, but because for the first time, Someone saw me the way I had been trying to see myself. Let me be real with you. It wasn't all confidence and compliments. There were days I came home and dropped the act. Days when the mirror felt like the enemy. When I questioned everything. When I wondered if I was just playing dress up in someone else's life. I lost friends who said I was different. People who didn't understand the shift I was making. People who were more comfortable with the old version of me. The one who doubted himself, stayed small, stayed safe. And yeah, that hurt. But growth requires loss. And if you're not willing to lose the people who don't believe in your evolution, you'll never become the person who does. So I kept going, quietly, steadily, relentlessly. Eventually I started a side hustle. Nothing crazy, just something small online. But this time, I didn't treat it like a side hustle. I treated it like a company. I showed up like a CEO, even when I was still taking client calls from the back seat of my car. I pitched with confidence. I priced my services like they were worth it. I marketed like I had something the world needed, and it worked. One client, then another, then more. And before long, that little side hustle was paying more than my 9-to-5. Quitting my job was the scariest move I've ever made. But walking out of that office for the last time, that felt like stepping into the life I'd been training for all along. Within a year, I had built a real business, traveled to places I used to only see on screens, invested, grown, even helped others shift their mindset too. And all of it started with one decision, to act successful before I was. So, what's the point? I'm not telling you to fake it, I'm telling you to train for it. This isn't about flexing for social media. It's not about designer clothes or luxury cars you can't afford. It's about energy. It's about alignment. About carrying yourself with the integrity, presence, and confidence of the person you're becoming. It's about believing in your future so hard that it starts pulling your present forward. And trust me, people can feel that. They respond to it. Doors open for it. Conversations shift. Opportunities align. Because when your inner world starts to change, your outer world has to follow. If you're sitting there waiting to make it before you act like it, flip the script. Don't wait until the money shows up. Don't wait until someone else validates your worth. Start now. Speak with purpose. Move with confidence. Carry yourself like someone who knows where they're headed, even if the path isn't fully clear yet. Because eventually, you won't be acting anymore. You'll be living it. If this message spoke to you, if you're on your journey, figuring things out one step at a time, hit that like button so more people can see this. Share it with someone who needs this reminder today. And if you want more content that inspires, uplifts, and keeps it real, subscribe and join this journey with me. We're all just trying to find our way together.